In this video, I'm going to show you how to master market research. Why do you need to master market research? It's because that is the core fundamental of marketing. You need to understand your customer so you can create a good message so people pay attention to your product, to your business. And everybody talks about market research. Everybody tells you need to do it, but no one really tells you how. And yeah, you can go on Reddit and try to see what people do. But you can also do it in a processized way, in a logical way. And you can also do it as fast as possible by using the right tools. And this is what I'm about to show you in this video. Not only the right tools, but also I am going to show you the right places where you need to look for information. So let's take a step back here and let me show you what this graph means. This is a complete process that I have spent the last weeks experimenting and putting together that will bring you from a place where you don't have a business idea yet and you're in the process of looking for one. So you will need to just start with a market, a niche, or an industry you're interested in to dig into. Or if you already know what kind of problem you want to solve, that's also good. Or maybe you already have either an idea or a business that is currently running, but you want to know more about your customer. So one of these is your starting point. And I'm going to help you here with a few resources. But let me quickly go through the whole process and then I go back to the first one. Second step is to go where the people are hanging out. And as I told you, I have listed all the different places, online forums like the good old school forums on the internet, Quora, and obviously Reddit, which is the big one, especially these days. We are going to look at how we can very quickly access pages like this one, for example, that straight away give you exactly what you want to find. So basically, I have created those Google queries that you just have to put the name of your market and it will find the threads where your customers are expressing their pain and their frustration. And you just have to go there, check if it's relevant and get the data and import it in the second step that I'm about to show you. So after online forum, we also have social media and it's a little bit different process, but in the end, it's the same thing. We want to find the right conversation that your potential customers or your customers are currently having. And we want to make sure they're relevant and extract them so we can process them with AI. YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, of course. And then we will look at communities. There are plenty of conversations in communities, and we will check which ones are the most relevant for you. It depends a lot of your business, actually. And marketplace also, depending on the product. Also, you can find a lot of relevant information here. All right, so we have now, assuming we have gathered all this data, we want to take every single source and put it in NotebookLM, which I'm showing you right now. This is a place where you can create a notebook, basically, where you can import all your sources. So for example, if I want to import a YouTube video, I can import a website, for example, a Reddit thread, or I can import text that I have just copied. And we will do that for every single source that we have found. And we can upload up to 50 sources. And the difference between using Notebook and just copying and pasting the data in ChatGPT or Claude, which I use a lot, but for this specific case, they are not as good because they have what we call a conversation window, which means they only have 200,000 tokens possible at the moment I'm recording this video, while the NotebookLM has 1.5 million tokens. So you can process a lot more data at the same time than you can in ChatGPT and Claude. That's why we use this tool. And it's also made for this kind of process with a lot of data and some inputs. All right, I went too far already on the Notebook LM. I just wanted to tell you, okay, first we gather the data, then we put it in Notebook LM, then we process the information in the way we want. It just depends on what you want to do. And I've created different prompts that you can use. It's just basically copy and paste that will help you to do different steps in your market research. But you can do whatever you want. But basically, we will identify problems. For example, if we start with an industry, which will be the example that I'm about to show you, we can identify problems and know what people in this industry are struggling with. Then once we have all the problems they are struggling with, we can say, okay, I want to focus on this problem. So what are they struggling with exactly with this problem? And then we will have all the quotes of these people expressing their frustration about this specific problem. And it's like a huge list of quotes that is only relevant for a specific problem. That's just pure gold. Then once we have that, we can, if we want to start a business, for example, we can brainstorm solutions to create a business and solve the problem that we just looked at. And we can finally create a persona or ideal customer profile. It depends on what you want to do, basically, but it's like we can create marketing materials. We can here go and create value proposition, headline, define the problem, desired outcome, core benefits, everything, but using all the information that we have gathered and filtered and processed, and create the marketing material with the exact wording that the people are using to describe their problem, which makes it just, it's so good. I really love this process. I hope I will be able to really transfer the excitement that I have, because it's a really good one, actually. That's another cool one, is like I create an industry glossary. The example I'm going to show you here is with general contractors. And this industry has a lot of specific expressions that they use between themselves. And if, as a marketer, you want to talk their language. And one of the first things we can do is to create a glossary where we will have all the expressions that they use and what it means exactly. And then we can use them in the marketing. All right, that was an 8-minute introduction. Well done, buddy. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper through the whole process from scratch now. I told you before, you need one of these things to start. If you don't have anything, you can just click here and go to my channel. I have 4 videos here that you can watch that are probably helpful for you to come up with something to start with. I also have put together those 2 resources, which are function verticals and industry verticals, a long list of industries that have generated unicorns. So you can just start from there, pick one and dig into it, find something interesting. So this is just for you if you don't have anything, any idea, and you just want to start from scratch. You can start with that. All right, now let's assume you have something. And we have something, since I told you we will use general contractors as the industry for the example. And I have already done the research, and because I was able to find interesting information, I wanted to use the same example. So the video is more relevant because you can see what happens when you find actual information about a specific industry. So the first thing we want to do is actually to create our notebook in NotebookLM. So I've created it here, but I haven't gave it a name. So example, general contractors. All right. Now this tool, let me make it a little bit smaller. On the left side, you have the sources. And every time you click the plus icon, you can add a source. Then here you have a chat, you can talk with it, and you also have the notebook guide. And in the notebook guide, you can even create a podcast. And that's basically what made this tool viral. But in my opinion, this tool is way better than only the podcast option, even though it's cool. But what we are going to do with this tool is worth way more than creating a podcast. Anyway, that's not the point. My point is I have my notebook. Now I'm going to look for sources. All right, let's start by online forums. Okay. On the internet, you have those old school forums, and they are everywhere. This is not like Reddit or Quora. They are everywhere in different websites, but they are still really interesting. So what we want to do is use this kind of Google queries. We use Google, and in most of the case, every time you see the green here, it means that I'm basically using Google as a database. Google already knows all the website there is, and the basic search on Google gives you nothing, basically. If you want to have something interesting, then you need to tell Google exactly what you want. And that's what I did here. So for example, here I say, okay, that's my market. So here you put, for example, general contractor. And it says, okay, in URL, you will have that. So in the address, and then we will look for all those terms. I think, I feel, I was, I have been, I experienced, my experience, my opinion, all those terms that show that people are actually sharing their point of view, their opinion. That will give us more relevant data. Let me click here. This, every time you have the example, it's basically this query with general contractor as a niche. So if I click here, then I can see that I start having a few things that are interesting. General contractor agreements, general contractor on or hands-on owner. Well, okay. So let's assume you go there and you start looking at it. You want to see if it's relevant for what you're looking at. And here, let me just read quickly. Okay, this one doesn't seem that relevant because it's someone working for general contractor. It's not a general contractor, basically. General contractor responsibilities. All right, let's have a look at this one. Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's a discussion, a conversation. It's way too old. And you will see that this is, most of the time, that's the problem you will face with these old forums. So I just put it here, but I actually don't really like to use it. But I just wanted you to know that, okay, there is not only Reddit and Quora and social media. You also have plenty of websites with conversation. And depending on the problem you're solving, you can dig into this conversation and find really good insights. So let's move on to the next one. We have Quora. And if I check the example here, this will happen to you frequently. It's because once you start giving too complicated requirement to Google, it really thinks you are a bot. So you just have to say, no, I'm not a bot. And now you can see all the Quora question answer. I don't know how we call that for Quora, that talk about general contractor and have in the body all the terms that we have seen. I have already checked it, and I know that in Quora, for the specific niche, we don't find relevant information because this is more people that are struggling with general contractors and people that are answering on how it works. But it's not like general contractors that are struggling with their own problem, basically. So that also tells you that not every source is relevant for every industry. You need to go through all of them and to understand if it is relevant or not for you. Now let's look at one that is relevant. I know it already. It's Reddit. So if I click here, you could also just go on Reddit and find communities. But I figure that Google is a way better search engine for Reddit than Reddit is. And I've talked a lot about tools to understand Reddit, and they are good when you want to ideate. But if you want to look for something specific, Google is awesome. So here now, I have a lot of interesting data. Wanting to become a general contractor in the future. Okay, problem with my general contractor. No, that's not for us. What to expect during an interview with a large? I'm a terrible contractor. Okay. let me just close all of that. And I will keep only the good ones here. How did you become a general contractor? Moving conversation, I had a 70-year-old general contractor. That could be interesting. What is your life and day-to-day like as a general contractor? That's good. Misled about permits, and it's too far in now. Don't know what it means. Life as a general contractor. You could also check how many comments there is, but generally, if they are ranking on Google, it means that they are somehow relevant and they have some kind of engagement. Okay, let me just go through that quickly and select a few. Okay, I picked, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 threads that I think are really relevant. If you are not recording a YouTube video, but you are actually making research, you are better off reading, understanding, because I didn't mention that, but everything we do is not preventing you from understanding your customer, right? The whole point is to understand your customer better than they understand themselves and to solve their problem. So you need to read, you need to understand, but what we can do is process the data a lot faster. I close the parentheses here. All right, so now I want to pick the link, and then I want to go in my notebook, add a source, and I am using website for this one. I insert here, move on to the second one, get the link, do it again, plus website. Then the third one, take the link, plus website. All right, let me finish and I get you back when I'm done. All right, I'm done importing the sources, all the Reddit threads, and you can check out every sources separately. And as you can see here, I have a quick summary. Then I have the actual posts, and then I have all the comments from the post. For Reddit, when you just use the website source, it really gets all the data exactly how you want. So that's just awesome to use a NotebookLM and Reddit together. But we don't want to have only Reddit. To be honest, sometimes you can only find one platform. You don't have to do all of them. If you find something that is relevant, then just go for it and don't spend forever to find more data that are useless. But for the purpose of this video, I want to show you every single place you can search in. YouTube. YouTube is a little bit different because we don't want to use the YouTube thing actually. Because when you use the YouTube link, it actually takes the transcript of the video. So it's for studying, understanding topics. But what we are interested in as marketers, as market researcher, is comments, because this is where people are talking about their problems. But they only talk about their problems if the video is relevant. So it's not like you just need a video about the niche. You need a video that make people talk about what they are experimenting, and also that make the right people talk about that. So again, we have a Google query. I love to do that. So you can see it, and now it only shows up videos where somehow you have a chance that people are expressing their pain and problems. You can also simply open YouTube and type, for example, general contractor, and look at the title and decide for yourself. This is just a shortcut, basically. And here, you also want to have enough views, so you have enough comments. You don't know exactly how many comments you have looking at Google, but you want to pick one where you know that you have some materials to work with.
I think a lot of people.
Okay, so I checked this video. By the way, I think the visual is just awesome. It's so good. And this one is actually pretty good. So we have 200 comments. The title of the video is Being a General Contractor, What It's Actually Like. So experimented guy is explaining what it is to be a contractor, a general contractor. So you bet that a lot of actual contractors would watch that, rely on some things that he says, and share the experience. For me, that is the perfect one. And what we want is simply to get the comments. And honestly, there is a very easy way to do it. There are Chrome apps and whatever stuff you can find on the internet. But for me, the easiest way is just to copy and paste. So I'm just going to scroll down and down. You don't have to take them all, right? You can stop at some point. You just decide when you start. Okay, so now I'm copying everything. Yep, it's a little bit long. Okay, now copy. And I open this one, NotebookLM, and this time it's past text. So here, YouTube video. So just so he knows that YouTube video comments. And then I can paste everything. And as you can see, I already have all the data. Now, what is annoying is that I have vidIQ, which is a Chrome app, which adds a little bit of useless text, which you don't have to have. But we have the most important thing. All right, insert. I'm doing it only for one, but you can do it for several ones if you want. Now we move on to the next one, which is Twitter. And Twitter is a little bit complicated because they are really careful that you can't do exactly what I showed you with Google, with YouTube. You can't do that on Twitter. You can't copy a lot of comments. So there is a workaround. Let's see if I can show you. So the first thing you want to do is to click here on the link I put, which will bring you to the search advanced search. Basically, it's the same thing we do with Google, but now it's within Twitter. And to make sure that you find the right thing that you want, basically I will use general contractor here. As you can see, I've done it already. And we will just use this list of words, any of these words, and then search. And now it will pull up some relevant posts. Contractors are in a bloodbath right now. Here's the hamster wheel we go through often. I think that's quite relevant. And we also have another 200 comments, a bunch of views. If we go down, specific things that I look for when selecting a general contractor, fair enough. Not as much engagement though. I just heard from a general contractor friend in Los Angeles, a vacant home. He was doing construction and received hundreds of ballots. How is possible? Not relevant. All right, let's stick to, you can see that you find good and bad. You have to judge. Let's go on this one. This one is actually really cool. Here, if I start to actually copy, I can copy, but my copy will only take like the last 10 comments. So that's not cool. That's not what we want. The only way I have is I was checking for some Chrome extension. I found this one. Perhaps it's a French one, by the way, and it's a paid one. You have to, if you want to upload, to take more than I think it's 150 comments, then you have to upgrade. It's like €11 per month. If you are building a business, I think it's a fair enough investment, but you can also use it for free. And in the end, you end up with a CSV file with all the comments. And I'm going to import just the CSV file that I have exported previously. I actually don't know if I can add the CSV file. Let's see. No, so I told you something wrong. We can't actually use a CSV file. So basically what you need to do is once you have exported them, you need to open the CSV file. Let's do it right away. Sheet new. Then I'm going to import it here. All right, so I just imported the file. You can see them here. Now I can just copy that and I will import it as a text. Close, copy text. So Twitter comments. So how many do I have? Yeah, that's enough. That's cool. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we have found something interesting on Twitter, on X. Sorry. Now we have LinkedIn. I again came up with a query, although it's not that fancy. You're probably better off just scrolling and finding the right people. As you can see, I've tested them all. I didn't find anything really relevant on LinkedIn. It's more like companies bragging about what the awesome things that they have done. So we are just going to skip it. But I'm not explaining you how you can find something on LinkedIn, but you can have some help using that example. Also, you can use, let me, now I actually have something to show you here. Let me 1 second. Okay, if you just click here, that's another Chrome extension. That's a shame because it says that it won't be available soon because it doesn't respect the rules. That would be a shame because it's a very good one. It's here and it works on LinkedIn. So once you are on the post like that, you can just copy here, open the extension, and now most of the time it will take the comments. Sometimes it won't. Whatever. You can always try this extension. If it works, that's good. Otherwise, you still can copy and add as a text. But we are not going to do it for the sake of this video. You have seen how you can find data on LinkedIn. Okay, now we are coming to communities. It's a little bit more complicated because communities are very specific and not everybody hangs out on communities. I figured that actually school posts are ranking on Google, which is cool for the public communities, which means we also have an example that is not working. That's awesome. Okay, let me make it work. So I copy here, and then I will put it here. Let's go back and change general contractors. All right, now it works. And I will just change that. You have the right example. Where was I? Yeah. If you dig a little bit into it, you realize that I don't think contractors are actually hanging out on schools. So that's why we don't have anything interesting here. But depending if you are in the gaming industry, in the marketing industry, then you will find people that are on school. You can also use, of course, school discovery, which is the basic way. You just open school and then you search for community. That's it. Now you have Discord. Discord is actually really hard to find communities on Discord. For Discord, Slack, Facebook group, and LinkedIn, you still can use this tool, which I don't know how up to date it is, but basically if I do general contractors, you will see that they are not really hanging out on communities, but I tested it for several topics and you can find some. It's all mixed up. I don't know how relevant it is. I'll let you judge of that. But I found kind of a hack to find Discord servers, again, using Google. I'm asking Google to show me all the YouTube videos that have a Discord link in the description. And actually, I don't know why my links are not working. It's so annoying. Wait. Here, I think I need to do like a gaming, for example. Yeah, because I tested it for contractor and there is absolutely no one. But if you go on an industry that is using Discord, then you can find some Discord server like that. But honestly, finding the good Discord server is really hard. The whole point here is that once you find communities where your people are hanging out in, then you look for the best conversations and then you copy and paste. I just want to point out something. We are going to arrive at the end. I just have Amazon to show you, and then we will start processing the data that we just gathered. But the result you will have here only depends on the quality of the input that you have here. So if you just put everything together, then don't expect something awesome. That's why it's not completely automated. It still requires you to be the judge of what's good, what's relevant, and what will help you to generate ideas and marketing messages and whatever things you want to process. Okay, last one now, Amazon. I quickly show you, I just realized I missed I forgot to add the prompt. Oh, it's not a prompt, it's actually a query. But same thing, we have a query for Amazon. And in this case, it will take mostly books, depending on your topic. It could be, if you're in e-commerce, probably it will take, if you are talking about something solvable with a physical product, maybe you will have different products. But here, for example, it's time to think like general contractor. No, the ultimate formula for winning works with general contractors. Okay. 4 ratings, so that's not good enough for us. We want something with a lot of ratings and something that is relevant as usual. So in this case, I won't pick one, but you get the point. If you go on Amazon, some people would share their thought about a book, about something, and this is relevant for you to create a solution for whatever problem. All right, we are done with the step 2. We have now imported a bunch of different sources in our notebook, and we are going to start processing everything now. I'm just closing all the windows here, and we are going to look at the different prompts that we have. First, I want to identify a problem. Context. I've gathered raw markets research data from various online sources about a market I am exploring. Please analyze this data to identify key problems and opportunities. As a market research analyst, specialist, blah, 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 and I want this output. So I want title of the problem that they found. I want to know how many times it was mentioned in my sources, so I can see which one is the more frequent. I want urgency and impact, like how hard is the problem for the people that are experimenting it. I want a search query, and that is what would these people look for on Google to solve their problem, so I can double check on Google with this specific problem. And I want this one is just describing the problem. And the most important is I want a few quotes of the people talking about this problem. And I just have to copy that. Then I go to chat, pass the prompt, and let it run and see how it goes. Normally, it's not too long. It's not ChatGPT or Claude. It appears right away. Although it has a lot of data to process, actually. I don't know how long it will take. Maybe I'm going to watch this camera for a long time. Here we go. Let me go back to the very first one. Problem 1, finding and managing reliable subcontractors. Plus 10 plus mentions. It's not always accurate, but at least it says, okay, this one has a lot of mentions. High impact, high urgency. Search query, reliable subcontractor, finding good subcontractor for core construction. If you think this is something people will look for on Google, you just copy that and double check. I don't think it's relevant in our context because there are not that many subcontractors, so we won't have a lot of data. All right, so description, general contractors, heavily relying on subcontractors for various aspects of construction projects, finding reliable, skilled subcontractors who delivers quality work on time and within budget is a recurring challenge. Managing this relationship effectively is also crucial for project success. And here, I'm not going to read that, but you can see what happened at the time. I did not understand. You can see that those are actually subcontractors talking about this specific problem. Now we have problem 2, managing client expectation and communication. 8 mentions, impact high, urgency high as well. Same problem, explanation, the search keyword, and the quotes. And then you have another one, burnout, stress, and you have accurate pricing and bidding. That's true. That's a real one. I was in construction before, so I know that. Lack of organization and system, that's definitely one. All right, so we have a few problems here. And now this is for you to decide what you want to do with it. And the next step in the process will assume that you find one that you, again, just to step back. I'm sorry, if you already have a business, then you don't want to identify a problem if you already have a solution. So you can skip to the next step right away. But also it's always interesting to learn about your customers. So let's assume you defined a problem. And in our case, we are going to take this one, finding and managing reliable subcontractor, as the example, as the problem we want to dig in. So I'm just taking it here. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm just pasting here. So it basically says, that's the program we are investing. So I just pasted it here. Extract all relevant mention of the problem to understand its various manifestations and impact on users. It's not users, actually, it's people. Whatever. Your market research, your mission, and then I give some instruction for formatting, and that's it. But now, after I have looked into all different programs, we ask NotebookLM, so Gemini, to tell us specifically what's happening for one single program. Okay. And reliability and incompetence of subcontractors. And now all of that is talking about subcontractors, but in subcontractors, you have different variation of the program. And for each of them, there are a lot of quotes. My biggest struggle is how unreliable people are, which I then have to own up because I am the general contractor. I once had to tell one of my subs, that's a specific word, not to smoke in an elementary school. Why? I've had subs, again, talk back to clients, walk out from jobs. Who does that? And we can see all the general contractors that are expressing their pain about their subcontractors. And that's, if you want to to build a solution for general contractors to to find good subcontractors, then this is gold, because from that you can create your marketing material. I'm not going to continue reading because I know it's a little bit painful. So let's move on to the next one. Now I want to brainstorm solution. Again, it's assuming you don't know exactly, you don't have a business yet, so you want to find something. And here I just repeat everything just to make sure. So general contractor, problem investigated, I think. Okay. So what do we have? We have collected detailed data about a specific problem. Our goal is to generate different types of potential solutions. As a product and business strategist, specializing in innovating solution design. That's really fancy, actually. By the way, I use AI to create the prompts. So I am guiding AI to generate this complete prompt, and specifically Claude to do that is the best I found. But in the end, I ask AI to create a prompt. I run, get the output, and give feedback on the output I got. So I get a new prompt, run it again until I get the right output every time I run the prompt. So that's why sometimes it seems I didn't write it. I didn't actually. It's AI. Okay, so now let's take that one and enter. Okay. Solution 1. Subcontractor vetting and management service. Core concept, this service would provide general contractors with a reliable source of pre-vetted subcontractor. It would also offer tools and resources to help manage our subcontractors' relationship and project. That's the broad solution. I'm not going to continue with that because I find that this is not extremely relevant. And let me tell you why. Here I put Claude. And this is exactly because of what we are seeing now. NotebookLM, I couldn't find exactly what LLM is using, but I guess it's the small version of Gemini, not the complete one. And as much as it is fast and can process a lot of data, it's not as good as Claude or GPT-4 or O1 for reasoning, which means when you say identify programs, list, quote the people for a specific program, it just have to data. Once you start saying brainstorm solutions, it's quite limited. So in this case, if I would need to brainstorm solutions, then I would get what I got here. This one I think is extremely valuable. And then I would go into Claude and use this prompt to brainstorm solution. And Claude is way better to do that. That's it. So I'm just moving on to the next step, because here I just wanted to show you can do it here if you don't want to waste time, or if you don't have a subscription to Claude or to ChatGPT, but you can do it here. Also, I didn't show you something, which is that in NotebookLM, you can save the note. So now I have it here, and I can choose, for example, I can remove the sources here, and I can select this one, and it will work only on that. That's not what we want. I just wanted to show you that you can do that. Also, be very careful on NotebookLM. If I refresh the page here, I lose the chat. It's good to know. So that's why you want to save as notes the things that you find valuable. All right, let's move on to the next one. Create persona ICPs. Quick break here. A persona is a person, an ICP is a company. Generally, in B2C, if you have a B2C SaaS, an app, a consumer app, then you will think in persona generally. So it's a person that's experimenting some kind of situation, that has some thing that they want to do. And an ICP is for B2B, and they are thinking of, okay, what kind of company could we serve the best, ideal customer profile? And within the ICP, you also have persona, which are the people in this company. Who are they that we want to target? So here I've tried to create a prompt that would fit a little bit of everything. You can make it so much better, but actually this one at least would give you, depending of if your idea, your program you want to solve is B2B or B2C, it will choose one or the other. And it will also think of the job to be done. Not going to go into that, but that's a framework for marketing. People hire a product to do a job. So it will tell you exactly the job it thinks it does. So let's just do it quickly, because as usual, I wanted to do a small video and I end up doing a long video. General contractor, unreliable subcontractor, and yeah, that's what we want. Okay, here. Okay, it just makes me think before I get into that. Something else that I didn't show you is that the cool thing is you always have the quotes. So if I click here, then it will show me exactly where it found this information. So every time you see a little number, it means that you can go on the source where I found the information and find the source, basically. Anyway, subcontractor vetting and writing platform, understanding the general contractor. Job to be done. When I need to hire a subcontractor for a project, help me quickly find and assess trustworthiness. That is not good. It's not good at all. Anyway, you get the principle. It makes you think of your persona. But again, I would do the exact same thing as I told you before. I would take all my information and I would go to Claude and give the same exact prompt to create ICP and personas and think of the job to be done, because it's so much better for reasoning and creating. I'm going to skip this one, because this one is the same as this one. I will do something and I will tell you, no, it's not relevant. You should go to Claude. But basically, if you want, you have another prompt just to create value proposition, headlines, problem definition. start generating some marketing material if you want just to kickstart and to test something very fast. The one I want to show you though is this one, and I think it's really cool. Let me just copy and paste and tell you afterward what it does. I'm pausing, by the way, in between because it always takes quite a long time. All right, for some reason, this one has taken so long. Actually, I know it's because in the prompt, I say I want a very complete list. Maybe it could be a little bit smaller, but let's look at this. It's huge. It's actually huge. So here you will basically have the wording that the general contractors are using between them and that they understand between them. So remember, we were talking about subs, short for subcontractor. What do we have? Interesting complex custom build. So GCPM, general contractor project manager. You can get basically like a list of the exact word that you will use in your marketing. All right, so we arrive at the end of this video. Honestly, it took me a while, and at the beginning, I didn't know how to present it. I didn't know if I explain first how to use Google queries, if I make a video about the different places on the internet, if I make a video about NotebookLM. I decided to make one where I show the whole thing. And maybe if there are pieces of this video you would like to dig more into, let me know in the comments. I have plenty of other video on different topics. And right now I'm thinking of covering different things, vertical AI agents, Reddit marketing. I'm interested in so many things, but I just wanted this one to be done because I know it's useful knowledge that hopefully you and a lot of people will take, use, and create cool things to add value in our world and to build a life for themselves. So I really hope you like this video. If you do, please like it and tell me in the comment, because then it will push it to more people and then my work don't stay unseen. And I haven't spent all these weeks working on that for nothing. So please and comment on this video. And I see you in the next one. Bye-bye.